Hello everyone, welcome live to 3YTV, tonight's broadcast of the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series here at the famed Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth here tonight is none other than Mr. Not Bob Giaquinto this week, folks. If you thought I was going to say that, you're wrong. It's Steven Doziak. How's it going, Doz?
Oh, it's going pretty good tonight, Peter. How's everything going with you?
Everything is going A-okay. And I'm so excited to see race number 2 of the Thornton Graphix chase for the Cup. Because here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the racetrack's hot. We always know Atlanta's slick. This racetrack was recently redone by iRacing. Is the BR line going to come into action here tonight? That's an old term for those NASCAR Racing 2003 drivers out there. But what are you expecting to see out there on the racetrack tonight?
I'm expecting to see a lot of highline racing up against the wall. I think they're going to use that new surface that iRacing put in, and I expect it to single file out almost like a super speedway race till everybody finds a groove. Then maybe with 20 or 40 to go, I think the seatbelts are going to get tightened up, and we're going to be in for a ride.
You're looking here at Anthony DeBarro, who was lights out last week at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and that number 27 machine again near the top of the leaderboard here in the practice session. As practice winds down, we'll move over into the shootout for the pole position here. You see that 27 machine there drop below the apron, but Ben Izenga fastest here in the practice session. Shane Ewing third spot right behind the number 27 machine, which we're watching right here. Jason Freeman, Spencer Tart running as your top 5 here, Doze.
Yeah, one name I did not see on the scorer's sheet, as you mentioned in the pre-race, was James Lorello. A championship contender here. Let's hope he turns some laps for qualifying.
Yeah, and speaking of qualifying, we are about to get into the qualifying session right here on 3YTV. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here on the channel here as the green flag is going to drop here on the qualifying session. You see the number 98 machine of Tristan Mayer right here rolling out there onto the racetrack. And one thing about the number 98 machine that you will notice is that green spoiler on the back. And Doze, why don't you tell the fans back home what that green spoiler means?
Yes, the green spoiler on the back of each car indicates they're a playoff driver. This helps with the racers who are not in to recognize, hey, this person is in the playoffs, so let me give him a little bit more room.
Yeah, we saw plenty of that last week. A fantastic race last week at Nashville Fairgrounds. If you guys didn't see it, Ben Izenga, one of those playoff drivers. He's in the outside wall, and he's going around in turn number 3 and 4. He's going to have to get that car dialed back up. Now, he will have another attempt at the qualifying session. There's Jason Freeman, another one of those green spoilered machines, working his way out of turn number 2 here onto the backstretch. And I'll tell you what, Doze, this is one of the faster racetracks that we go to.
Yes, and I did a few practice runs in practice here, and I did notice the first 4 or 5 laps the car is very tight. So look early in the race to see a lot of cars washing up throughout turns 1 and 4.
Yeah, so we ride on board here with driver of the number 20 machine, Jason Freeman, down to about 161 miles per hour, in the corner. Now we will bring up the times as they continue to trickle in. So far, only 9 drivers have put a time in, but it is last week's race winner, Anthony DeBarro, sitting atop the leaderboard here tonight. And DeBarro led so many laps last week at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And trying to go back-to-back here, Jason Freeman, we rode on board with him, went second on the board in that 20 machine. Bill Edwards, he's currently slotting into third. Good job for that number 50 machine so far.
Yeah, so far you see, the bigger names Monday nights at the top of the table. But it is a long race. Anything could happen, and tire management will be a key tonight, Peter.
That it will, as always, here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, likes to eat up Goodyear rubber, and we'll see which driver can save the most tire here tonight. on their way to possibly getting to victory lane in race number 2 of the Thornton Graphix chase. There is the number 71 machine, Josh Gerlach, just outside the top 10. Ben Izenga finally able to complete his lap time. He won't be able to back up what he ran in the practice session a little while ago. He's only going to go 7th. So a little bit of a surprise there. Right back behind him is the number 6 machine, one of the other drivers, which has a green spoiler here tonight, Andrew Himmelin. There's Shane Ewing. Had a great showing last week in his number 32 machine going, especially early in the race. There's Johnny Williams. He's working his way around the racetrack right here. But one thing I've been noticing here, Doze, is it doesn't seem like we have a whole lot of qualifiers. We have a lot of cars here tonight, but a lot of drivers have yet to head out there onto the racetrack.
Yeah, I do know towards the end of practice, the track temperature did increase a lot, so maybe they are just, gonna start from the back of the grid, or are they waiting till the end of qualifying to start their laps?
You're looking at the second fastest driver here in the qualifying session, the Z-Line Designs, number 117 of Chad Cole. He was able to go out there and put a lap time in. But what about this? Mike Floppy Tellier, he is inches away from turning what will be the longest lap time here tonight. That number 97 machine has yet to take a time. Is he going to crawl across the start-finish line? I think everyone's asking the question. This is just... I think everyone is just eager in anticipation. Everyone's just waiting. This is probably going to be the most nerve-wracking thing of the entire night. Will Mike Floppy Tellier complete a lap or not? He's, like I said, probably about 3 or 4 feet away from getting that number 97 machine. One of our chase drivers, nonetheless, across the line here to put a lap time in. Do you think he's going to finish this one out here in the final 17 seconds, Dose?
Yes, I expect him to cross the line to secure the longest qualifying time. There he goes.
And indeed he does. He goes 21st on the board with in fact, broke the scoring pylon. It was that long. 2 minutes, 6 seconds for that number 97 machine as we now go over into the race session. Let's see if we can dial up tonight's starting lineup for all of you folks back home. Starting on the pole, it will be Anthony DeBarra. Won last week, trying to go 2 in a row here. In fact, he won in his debut start here in the Total Nonstop Racing League Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. Chad Cole in the 117 machine will be starting to his outside. Jason Freeman, Bill Edwards will make up row number 2. Of course, a couple of green spoilers on those machines. We'll be watching them try and get to the front here tonight. Ben Adams, great qualifying run for the number 9 machine on the inside of row number 3, with Tim Johnston do his outside in the number 28. Tristan Mayer and Ben Izenga will make up row number 4 here tonight. You see them there on the left-hand side of your screen, while Andrew Himmelman in the number 6 machine alongside the number 48 of Chris Gibbo. There, Doze.
Yes, starting next, the number 32 of Shane Ewing. Outside of him is Nick Cohan. Starting in...
I don't know why it did that. I don't know why it did that. It just did that, Doze. I'm just trying to catch you off guard tonight. But go ahead.
Starting 13th, Josh Gerlach in the number 71, and on the outside of him is Nick Giambrone. Spencer Tart starting 15th with Garrett Gleason, the league owner, starting 16th. Matt Monticelli on the inside with Kyle Lewis on the outside, starting number 19th. None other than Bob Gianquinto himself alongside Johnny Williams. Starting in 21st, Mike Floppy Tellier on the outside of Lupe Gonzalez. Jason Gracias with James Lorello.
Yeah, just to take you through the rest of your the field here tonight, Gail Brooks, Stephen, well, I would say you would start 26, but you definitely won't start 26 here tonight. Doze, you're alongside me, but back there is also Vincent Valvano back in the field here tonight. Great to see the number 38 machine feeling a lot better here tonight. Stephen Kegman will be starting back there in the number 22 machine, one of your playoff drivers. And Jason Shue and Don Runkle Jr., I knew that one would catch me out at some point or another. It looks like he'll be rolling off from the tail end of the field. It does look like Lorello has gotten out there onto the racetrack, so that is going to be something that he will be very glad to see. Meanwhile, up at the front, you see the pace car lights are off, so we're getting set to go racing here tonight. And Doe's definitely going to be an interesting race. Of course, we always talk about the tire wear here at this particular racetrack, but tonight's race is going to, as always, have that one stage break. That one stage break is going to be coming at the end of lap number 25. It's 100 laps, and it's actually known as the 3-wide TV 150. So who's going to walk away with a 3-wide TV 150 here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway? There goes the pace car. Does I think we're about to find out the first chapter of the race here tonight as the green flag waves. We're racing at Atlanta. Whoa, big wiggles out the back of a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, and there we go on the inside. 2 cars got tangled up. Hopefully they keep it green here going into turn 1.
Yeah, one of those was Tristan Mayer there. We'll see if we can go back here real fast and see what happened, because there was some death wiggles out of some of these drivers coming across the start-finish line, and the 98 gets into the back of the 9, and it looks like the 6 of Himmelman runs into the back of the 98. Fantastic save there by the number 98 machine as we are racing. Green flag is in the air. Up at the front of the field, we did have a lead change. Chad Cole, the 117 machine, was able to get around the 27 machine, but they're side by side for the race lead now coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, Bill Edwards in 3rd place, followed by his teammate Ben Izinga. And as we've stated in the pre-race, a lot of cars running that higher arc around Atlanta here. Maybe trying to save some tires, being they only have 2 sets of tires for the entire 100 laps.
Yeah, actually really cool to see the different grooves in play here tonight. We're going to be seeing that and talking about that all night long. As you see all these drivers coming out of turn number 2, Bill Edwards in 2nd, about 0.7 of a second behind your race leader, Anthony DeBarro. But then you could throw a blanket over the next gaggle of cars. Chad Cole is involved in that one, Ben Izenga, Tim Johnston, and Jason Freeman. Oh, I thought Freeman was going to get down into the side of the number 28 USAA machine. And Johnston was really fast last week, Doze. I think he's hoping to, again, show his muscle here tonight.
Yeah, speaking of showing muscle, you have 3 playoff drivers right there in Izinga, Freeman, Himmelman, and even Bill Edwards. You see them starting to make their way up high and towards the front.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of the chase for the championship, folks, James Lorello comes into tonight with a hefty point advantage in the number 13 machine. He comes in with there he is, currently being scored a little bit further back in the pack. He is currently the points leader by 21 points. Now, he is 18th right now, Doe, so he has a lot of work to do to try and get up towards the front of the field. You can see how he's already starting to pass a couple of cars there, battling with Shane Ewing in that number 32 machine, trying to get to his outside. But a good points advantage for Lorello, at least right now, on the point side of things.
Yes, and keeping an eye on Lorello here, 2 cars behind him was Bob himself. Seems to be running a fine race as of now. Let's hopefully he could keep that up and finish strong here at the 100 laps.
Second place in points coming into tonight is the number 17 NOS Energy Drink Machine. He's currently running in the 3rd position, right in front of Jason Freeman, trying to find a little bit of magic here on the 1.5 Atlanta Motor Speedway. They're racing pretty darn close back behind him, however. Let's look at this battle. Still going on. Looks like Andrew Himmelman, he has that front end damage there early on, Doze, from getting into the back of the number 98 of Tristan Mayer. And if you're a Tristan Mayer fan, you're going to have to go all the way back to the 21st position. Lost 14 positions from where he started here in the first 7 laps. Pretty much all of that in lap number 1. Tough break for the fans of the number 98.
Yeah, it is a long race, and thankfully he was able to control the car down there on the apron. We kept it green, so coming up on this stage break, maybe he could get that damage repaired and continue on with his night.
Himmelman using that high line, trying to get around the 117 of Chad Cole, who's stuck down there on the bottom side of your screen. The number 78 right there, that's Spencer Tart, another one of those green spoilered machines. That Toyota Supra of Spencer Tart last week not having a good race at all, folks. He finished all the way back in the 17th position, so he's really looking for a rebound here tonight, Doze. And going from the short track at Nashville Fairgrounds to the high banks, high-speed mile-and-a-half that is Atlanta Motor Speedway, how big of an adjustment is it as a driver?
Yeah, last week at Nashville, your braking was relatively important. Here, it's getting into the corner and out of the corner, kind of tire conservation. I believe next week is either Darlington or Watkins Glen. So this playoff format, all different sorts of tracks, keeps the driver on their toes.
That is for sure. Biggest movers of the race so far, Mike Floppy Tellier and James Arello, both of those drivers picking up 7, as well as Spencer Tart in his machine. He's trying to pick up another spot. Look at Ben Adams there in the number 9 machine, thinking about taking it 3 wide up the middle. This is great to see Doze, the other person who's up here with me in the booth here tonight. Bob's out there on the racetrack, currently being scored down there in the 21st position as they run. But Doze, great to see this 3 wide, even if it gets a little bit close there coming out of turn number 4.
Yeah, Ben Adams there in the number 9 machine kind of just stuck his nose in there and completed the pass successfully on the number 78 of Spencer Tart.
Now let's go on board the nose of Spencer Tart, looking out front of his machine, looking out back of the number 48 in front of him. That's Chris Gabeau, who started down in the 10th spot. But you can see all these cars running up near the wall, Doze, and that's kind of what I was expecting to see here tonight. And it's really awesome to see that. I remember back in the day, I mentioned it at the top of the show, Atlanta BR was a specific version of Atlanta Motor Speedway back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 season game. Everyone from then on out just called that high line the BR line in NASCAR Racing 2003 season. And here tonight, pretty much everyone running what I would call that BR line.
It's saving a little bit on tires, and especially with 2 sets. But also, the high line takes a little bit longer to get around any track, that is.
Yeah, that is definitely for sure. Now, as we continue to watch this battle, you're not missing a whole lot up at the front of the field. Anthony DeBarro holding on to about a half-second lead over Bill Edwards. This is really the best battle right now, all the way back to Nick Cohan in his machine. He's getting to the inside of Spencer Tart. That number 21 machine has been lightning fast as well since he joined the Total Nonstop Racing League just a couple weeks ago. He's now slicing his way up. He's picked up 3 spots here in the opening 13 laps as they just went across the stripe there. But that bright orange number 21, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he gets up towards the top 5 here as he's in search of grip, trying to use that high line. Look at Spencer Tart now down there all the way on the inside groove here. Those, it seems like these drivers are really trying to find what line is working out for them best.
Yeah, and these drivers do know in 10 laps here they do have a stage break. So look to see them trying different lines out for future reference later in the race. Kind of getting a game plan for what they'll need in the closing laps.
Yeah, we're on board right now with the number 21 machine of Cohan. You see him just flirting with the wall all the way around the racetrack. And we got a caution flag out here on the racetrack, hearing that it is possibly the number 22 machine. Let's see, go on board here with the Stephen Kekman here. And, ooh, that's the number 54 machine. And the grass comes up across the racetrack. Nowhere for one of our chase drivers to go. That is going to be a tough break for the Angry Orchard number 22 machine. But what happened with the number 54 machine of Kyle Lewis?
Yeah, something. And at the end of that, too, Peter, I did see another car turned into the outside wall.
There is a 54 machine. Whoa, there's the number 40 machine. Jason Chu. And, Jason's into the outside wall. Yep, just lost it. But I think this is an interesting one. We talked about tire wear. I think the number 54 machine just got loose in the trial wheel. You don't see this very often. He kind of gets into a little bit of a tank slapper, and yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from that angle. I think we're going to have to go on board. Man, that's a pretty hefty hit with the outside wall on that number 54 machine. Let's see if we can go into the gyro cam. Let's watch the wheels. You see someone in the Unical 76 machine. That is Gail Brooks going down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, and yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like he's loose. He just gets down into the grass and right up in front of one of our chase drivers, the 22 machine. That's a tough break for Kegman.
Yeah, maybe he just was, trying to uncheck his tires or, something in car wise and lost sight of the track and, paid the ultimate price.
Now, we do have some split strategies here under this particular caution flag. First caution flag that we've had all night here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. There is DeBarro just working his way out onto the racetrack in the number 27 machine. He's the first car to come down pit road, and all the cars in front of him, Jason Shue, Mike Floppy Tellier, and Garrett Gleason, they all stayed out, but I believe that Jason Shue in the number 40 is on pit road as we speak. Yeah, there is Jason Shue, so I think he might have used a fast tow or something to get back to pit road. So the race is currently led by the number 97 machine, Mike Floppy Tellier. He'll go around Jason Shue right there. You see live timing and scoring update there on the left-hand side of your screen. But we're under the first caution flag here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway and Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. And you and I know, Doze, we'll get a little bit of a green flag running here, and then we'll get that stage caution and to figure out who gets those bonus points, because bonus points are given away at that stage break.
Yeah, the first 5 cars do receive the bonus points. Right now, there is 3 playoff drivers, I believe, in the top 5 with Floppy Tellier, Jason Freeman's, Bill Edwards. So, to bite into that lead of James Lorello, that's a good call by Mike Floppy Tellier.
I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting for Mike Tellier here when we go green to not spin his tires. We saw wheel spin even on very, very fresh tires right at the start of the race, but I'm really curious to know if we're going to see Tellier spin his tires. With 18 laps on his tires right now here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, that is an eternity. And just to put things into perspective for you folks, the fastest lap that Mike Floppy Tellier has run here tonight was a 31.8. Over the last 5 laps that led up to the caution, he was averaging a 33.4. You do the math, that's about 1.6 seconds of fall off here, just over 18 laps. That's pretty significant. And if everyone else is 1.6 seconds faster than him here, I think Tellier's going to be a sitting duck, and he's just going to have to try and get out of the way, try and use the high line, see if anyone can get around him. But I don't think this is going to work out for Tellier. But the one thing that is going to work out for Tellier is the fact that he can then come down pit road and in 5 or 6 laps and get on fresh tires. And you and I know those. There's going to be a caution flag in 5 laps. There is going to be, because of the stage break. If he has 5 lap fresher tires than everyone else at that point, that can actually be an advantage here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, especially if you have 5 laps fresher tires over an entire run. So we'll see how that works out for the number 97 machine. Definitely not going to work out for him here on this restart, but things might turn around with the fresher tires that he will presumably take under the next pit stop, because there are tire limits here in Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. In fact, tonight they have 2 sets of tires in the pits, so for drivers who came down to use those sets of tires, they've already used one of their 2 sets. So we'll see how that all works out here. Meanwhile, pace car heads down pit road. There goes Tellier into the outside wall. Just as I said, he's going to have wheel spin and into the outside wall, and just like that, he's sliding all the way back and has quite a bit of damage. That is a tough break for the man who was leading us back to green, and is going to slide all the way back to the 16th position right now. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, DeBarro was able to scoot away up at the top of the field, but we're watching this battle right now for second. Bill Edwards, Jason Freeman, now your 2 highest placed chase drivers, Doze.
Yeah, at some point, I expect Freeman to make a move to get into that second place. And as we say this, crossing the line, he dives to the inside of the tri-oval, quad oval, and looks like he should be able to clear him coming out of turn 2.
Now I'll go back and eat my words. Looks like most of the people on pit road actually did not take tires here under that first caution flag. So pretty much the rest of the field just electing to just top up with some fuel and get back out there on the racetrack. Just seems like things not working out there for Tellier, getting that wheel spinning into the outside wall. Watching him drop through the field, he's now back to 19th position. So it has all gone awry for the number 97 machine. We continue to watch this battle. Anthony DeBarro up at the front of the field, scooting away. Freeman there washing up the racetrack right behind the S2R number 50 of Bill Edwards. But here comes the number 28 machine, Tim Johnson. He wants to have a little bit of the fun up here at the front, looking to the inside of Jason Freeman.
Yeah, the battle between Freeman and Edwards kind of let the leader gain a little bit of time on him and brought the rest of the pack closer to them as Bill Edwards breaks away from this pack now and is in chase of the number 27, Anthony DeBarro.
Yeah, DeBarro out front. Edwards now sitting in second. Third is Jason Freeman. You see that battle back behind has cooled off for right now, but still seeing a bunch of different lines run out there on the racetrack, which is really awesome to see. But I'm also surprised to see that those drivers who were all favoring that higher groove just a little while ago, well, it looks like they're now finally going back up to their top side, and Nick Cohan there in the 21 was one of those really favoring the outside groove, but he now is kind of running that middle groove. James Arello, number 13 machine, he's on the move. He's now up there towards the front of the field. He's making a charge, and I won't be at all surprised if he's able to get up here, as we are now just one lap away from when the caution flag will come out. It'll come out at the end of this lap right here. Lorello on a charge, but that's because he came down. He was one of the drivers who did take tires. Not many drivers did, but that number 13 was one who did. Maybe thinking about those points that are given away at this stage break. Those.
Yeah, he had a late qualifying time, and right here, when the points matter, here he is making a pass on his teammate Bill Edwards at the line. Does he get it? Wow. Photo finish for second and third place.
Yeah, and looks like Tim Johnson was able to pit Jason Freeman to the line, so caution flag should be coming out. Or do you think, Doze, that they said that first caution was actually the stage caution?
Yeah, if that first caution was stage caution, Mike Tellier got lucky there.
So we'll see how that all shakes out. But meanwhile, James Arello, the number 13 machine, he said, you know what? I'm going to use these fresh tires, folks. And he's got himself up to the front of the field in the S2R Chevrolet Camaro. Now, here's the funny thing. That S2R Chevy Camaro, folks, he's used one of his sets of tires here. So you only have two sets of tires. And he's already used one of the two sets on pit road in the first, 25 laps of the race, first 20 laps of the race. So he's going to have to go a long way, Doze, on his next two sets of tires here tonight. But the good news is he's probably thinking about the fact that everyone else is kind of going to have to do the same thing. He just had the opportunity to come down and take those tires under the caution flag, while everyone else will more than likely have to do so under green flags, unless, of course, there are more accidents. A little bit further back right here, the number 9 machine, Ben Adams, saw him get loose coming out of turn number 2, as well as Ben Izenga. He's locked in a battle with Nick Cohan. This is currently the battle for the 7th position between these two Toyotas.
Yeah, and as anybody who watches the Monday Night Thornton Graphix Cup, they do know there is a lot of green flag racing, so these pit stops, could be major implications here, especially for the people who have yet to take tires.
Yeah, and then, of course, up at the front, Lorello's using those fresh tires to his advantage, pulling away now to a 1.5 second lead. side-by-side battle right back here. This is Lupe Gonzalez and Josh Gerlach. Battle for 11th position right now. They have the number 1 of Jason Gracias, your reigning series champion there, running in the 13th position. Gracias last week at Nashville Fairgrounds didn't quite have the race we thought he was going to have. We thought he was going to be kind of up there near the front of the field for a good majority of the night, but that number 1 machine just didn't quite have the pace we were expecting to see, and did not have a good finish at all, finishing all the way down in the 18th spot. Trying to turn that around here tonight, but currently running outside the top 10. So things not looking good at this current junction for your reigning series champion. A little bit of a new look for the Thornton Graphix chase on that number 1 Toyota Supra. But the lap count continues to go up here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. James Arello continuing to lead. We got one car coming down pit road. Not sure who that was coming down pit road. Thought it might have been Jason Shue. That was not correct. It was that it looks like it might have been Johnny Williams in his machine on pit road right now, being scored in the 28th position.
Yeah, he might have been one of the drivers to stay out under that first caution. But as we watch here, James Arello continues to pull away from the field and use those fresh tires up. But Peter, he does have to go 70 laps on 2 sets of tires, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, his next pit stop. Does he take those tires, or does he wait towards the end?
Yeah, I completely agree that it's going to be interesting to see exactly how his strategy works out for him here tonight. One thing we've talked about is how slippery this racetrack is. Well, one of the reasons why it's so slippery here tonight is the weather at this racetrack is very, very, very warm and toasty here tonight. Doesn't, well, you know what? Oh, I don't even think we're live anymore, folks. I think we're actually not live. Let's make sure we're live. There we are. Now we're live. And now we can bring up the weather graphic. 131 degrees track temperature there, Doze. I know a couple of drivers were concerned about it in practice, being up about 125, but it's even a little bit toastier here in the race session.
Yeah, and you know, you'll see cars starting to slide around, especially as their tires start to wear off. So later on in the runs, you'll have to start giving more room as to if, you know, drop of the green flag or on a restart.
See the field flashing on by on entry into turn number 1. Here's a look at the exit of turn number 2. Look at all those cars using the different grooves out there here. That's what you just love to see it here. You didn't used to see that in iRacing a couple of months ago before they reworked some of these racetracks, and it is just a thrill to see some of these drivers riding the top side of the racetrack, the Dale Earnhardt Jr. line. And we got one car on pit road. It's the number 17 machine of Ben Izenga, who he's gone around. What happened here to the driver who was coming into tonight second place in points?
Yeah, it looked like coming on a pit road, he might have locked his brakes up. Yeah, that apron. Ooh, that might be an unsafe pit entrance as well for sliding into the grass. We'll have to keep that.
I think it will be. We'll jump back live. He's in his pit box right now. We'll just see if we can get that pit stop time up there at the bottom of the screen right there. Izenga on and off pit road looks to be actually pretty respectable. So somehow, some way, you see that 14.8 seconds right there. That was his actual time in his pit stall versus his pit road time, his pit lane time. And that was not longer than anyone else. If he did have a penalty, that number would have been significantly higher. So Ben Izenga catching a little bit of a break right there in the number 17 machine.
Yeah, maybe when he did cross the pit lane commitment cone, he was on the pavement. So maybe, you know, catching that grass a little bit, you know, didn't hurt him or cause a penalty.
Yeah, so right now there is your second place, number 27 machine, Anthony DeBarro. Right back behind him is his Dizzy Motorsports teammate, Tim Johnston. Behind him, another Dizzy Motorsports teammate of Nick Cohan there in the 21 machine. So they're running second, third, and fourth. Ben Adams in the number 9 is running right back there, right in front of Chris Gabot, who's having a great start to his Total Nonstop Racing League Thornton Graphix GNS Series career. Behind them, a couple of your chase drivers. The number 6 of Andrew Himmelman, who's been having just not a lot of luck here of late here in the TNR series, getting a little wiggle out of turn number 2 as well. He's been caught by your reigning series champion there, Jason Gracias, just to his outside, but Himmelman has that front end damage, and he's coming to pit road this time.
Yeah, great to get off the racing surface here. Looks like he's going to make it on the pit road. See if he can now hit his pit stall correctly. As we all know, green flag pit stops could cost you a lap, the race. A lot of things could happen on pit road here.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Up at the front of the field, the number 13 of James Arello. Now, he's going to be an interesting boat here, Doze, because under this next pit stop, he will not be taking tires. He catches the back of the number 84 Choman's Care machine of Matt Monticelli. But he's not going to come down and take tires. Pretty much every other car is going to come down and put on 4 fresh tires. But Lorello knows that he's, kind of off strategy. He's off sequence with everyone else. And maybe he's thinking about the fact that, with these drivers coming down pit road right now, that, they're going to kind of balance out versus what he's doing, They are going to run 40 laps on their first set, and then maybe, 40 laps on their second set, and then maybe 20 laps on their last set. Well, instead of that, he's going to do 17 laps on his first set, 40 laps on his second set, and then 40 laps on his third set of tires. And if he does that, then he gets the added benefit of being able to get at least one of those sets of tires on pit road. So I'm sure that's what Lorello's thinking here, and he's going to have a massive lead once this next cycle of pit stops cycle on through. Speaking of pit stops, though, we've already seen a couple here under this green flag run. You see the number 13 machine is being caught by one of his teammates, the number 50 of Bill Edwards, who is on the fresh tires. And look at how much faster Bill Edwards is here down the backstretch. He just blew by the number 13 of James Arello as they go off into turn number 3.
Yes, and good situational awareness by Bob, getting out of the way, letting the leader come by and letting Bill Edwards unlap himself. That goes a long way on track, especially with, paying respect to others. I'm glad to see Bob do that.
Yeah, so you can see that that gap is increasing there between James Lorello and DeBarro. DeBarro 4/10 slower. The lap 39, lap 40, 3/10 slower, then 2/10, and another 3/10 slower over the last couple of laps. That's why your race lead is now up to 6 seconds. As we close in on the halfway mark here tonight, this race absolutely blowing on by. We haven't really even talked to the chat here tonight. Big shout out to everyone who's watching us here on 3 Wide TV. We really do appreciate each and every one of you each and every week here. We got Mitchell Adams in the chat. Tana Himmelman as well, talking about Drew Himmelman's new sim rig that he picked up. Logan Skelton in the chat as well. Tony Lucarelli. Tony, why aren't you out there on the racetrack saying, I heard the number 84 has a custom cup holder to hold his ice-cold Coors Lights on that slick dashboard? Can we confirm? Well, we'll just have to figure out after the race. Philip Scott saying maybe his wheel disconnected. I think that was in terms of the first caution flag that we had. And we even got King Canute in the chat here tonight. The Windsor's rooting on Bill Edwards, as always. Hello to Bill's family. Hope you are all doing well, staying safe, and all that good stuff here as we are closing in quickly on the halfway mark at Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight, Doze.
Yeah, and, other than that one caution, knock on wood, it's been a clean, safe race. I hope to see it go green the rest of the way and get these second round of pit cycles to really shake up this field.
Yeah, dialing up a replay for all you folks back home. The number 15 machine, Johnny Williams, right here, working his way through turn number 4, and got into a little bit of a wiggle, gets into the wall. Just didn't seem like that number 15 was tracking just right, and ouch. Into the inside wall. Green flag stays out. That was off of the racing surface, but unfortunately for that machine, it looks like his night will go no further. James Dorello now up to a 6.3 second lead. Tim Johnston, though, has been tracking down the second place machine, and all just like that has disappeared. There he is. He's back on the racetrack, but the 28, does he see Andrew Himmelman on those fresh tires, scooting on through very, very quickly. But we're getting word possibly that we've had another accident. The number 54 machine, a Kyle Lewis. This is back on the 3Y TV replay. Well, just wouldn't say he crashed or anything. Just went off the racing surface and brought that thing to a halt. So that is going to be interesting to see exactly whether or not he gets back out there on the racetrack. Don't think he will, based off of the body language of that particular incident. But this battle for second spot is red hot right now.
Yeah, and you can see those fresher tires, like you said. I mean, Himmelman was behind both of them 1 lap ago, and now he's not even in the picture. Looking back through the field here, we got a blanket of cars here. Ben Adams, Tristan Maher, the number 48. Can't see that black car. Is that Gracias? No, that is not.
Yeah, it's Lupe Gonzalez who peels off onto pit road. Lupe was battling with Josh Gerlach in his machine. There's Gale Brooks in that number 76 Unical Ford Mustang, working his way up towards the front of the field here right now, plus 18 positions running in 7th. But we have had one car come down pit road. The number 13 machine, we missed it, was your race leader at the halfway mark. James Dorello brings his Chevy Camaro down pit road, back out there onto the racing surface. Just checking to see, folks, whether or not that number 13 took tires or not. Can confirm no tires on his Chevy Camaro. So he's going to have to get that thing back out there on the racetrack. We know he has one set. Whoa. Okay, calm down, number 13 machine. Getting all types of sideways there, coming on back onto the racetrack.
Yeah, so Peter, you were right. He's going to do that first stint on 17, then 40, and another 40. So look to see late race Lorello out in front with those fresher tires again.
So we'll see how it all works out. Nick Cohan in the number 21 machine still out there on the racetrack. We also had other cars come down pit road there just a moment ago. We got Anthony DeBarro came down onto pit road. Right behind him, Tim Johnston joined him. So they pitted just about a lap ago. Jason Gracias, the number 1 machine's on pit road. Garrett Gleason in the Speed Energy Chevy Camaro, he's on pit road. But as of right now, Nick Cohan still circling out there on the racetrack, now into the back half of the race. Just went across the start-finish line to complete lap number 52. We got 48 laps to go. Hopefully everyone in the chat is enjoying the action here tonight. Kyle Lewis says, just too much damage, just could not catch the car. Tough break there, Kyle. Hopefully you can get back up to speed next week here in the TNR series. Nick Cohan there struggling, though. There goes the 117 machine, Chad Cole. Actually, that was a pass for the race lead. Nick Cohan now coming down onto pit road, and Chad Cole will not only take the race lead, but be one of the last cars to pit here under this pit cycle.
Yeah, and everybody knows, green flag pit stops, staying out. If that caution falls your way, you could trap a lot of cars a lap down, and with a big field tonight here, maybe that's what the 117 of Chad Cole is attempting to do. Maybe he'll catch a lucky caution.
And now you see how many of those cars are just on different tire strategies. You got some cars that are just absolutely mowing through the field, making other cars look like they're standing still. Then you have some cars that are, on the older tires really struggling, as it looks like the number 117 machine, Chad Cole, on pit road. That will give the race lead to the number 01 of Nick Chambrone. There is Nick currently out there on the racetrack in front of Bill Edwards. Here's the interesting thing about Bill Edwards, though. He pitted 21 laps ago in that number 50 machine. That's quite a long time for Bill Edwards to, been out there on the racetrack, but he is 8 seconds in front of Jason Freeman. Freeman is another couple seconds in front of Himmelman, who's in front of Ben Izenga, Chris Cabot, Ben Adams down there. And look at James Arello in that number 13 machine. Remember, he's on those older tires, and he's kind of really sliding back right now. He's being passed by some of those cars on the fresher tires. There goes Anthony DeBarro. So all of a sudden, maybe this strategy not working out for the 13 machine.
Yeah, and anyone who watches 3 Wide TV knows, S2R with James Lorello, Bill Edwards, Ben Izenga, they all have their own strategy. It's funny to see these guys pitting at different times today in the race, and no one ever knows their strategy, but it always pays off, Peter. Does their strategy tonight pay off, being on 2 separate strategies?
Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I know that's one thing in Formula One that you see quite a bit, is teammates getting off strategy just to try and maximize their particular race. But here tonight, 2 wildly different strategies on Bill Edwards and James Lorello. Edwards currently your race leader. Lorello currently being scored in the 9th position as we now get to lap number 57. And the only thing I can think of, those that might work against the number 13 machine and why he's currently 14.5 seconds back, is because he didn't get to that point where the tires started to plateau on pace. And once you get to that point where your tires plateau on pace, you're not going to gain anything. Even if you have 15 lap fresher or 20 lap fresher tires, someone who has 70 lap old tires is going to be running about the same pace as you. So you're not getting that same level advantage. Remember, during that first stint, he only got like 15 laps on those tires. And because he only got 15 laps on those tires, he never got into that plateau range where things kind of just even out. So that range can be very important. It isn't like you continually lose pace over a run. You do kind of get to that point. And when you get to that point, it's almost important to kind of maximize your time in that plateau, because it's that other period of time where you're faster than the plateau. As we saw one car there, I think that was the number 40 machine. I believe, yes, it is the number 40 machine. Jason Shu there going on the inside of the racetrack. It's the go-get-it time. That's the time before you get to that plateau stage. And definitely, under that first run, 13 never was able to get to that stage. And now he's 16 seconds behind the race leader. I mean, he's still inside the top 10 right now, folks. And he is still your points leader. But right now, Bill Edwards looking pretty good up front with a 7.5 second race lead.
Yeah, and I believe my math's right. We'll have 1 more pit stop, maybe 2, with a caution, per se. I look for, Lorello to take tires on this next stop. I mean, he has to. He has 1 set in the pits. If he wants to be challenging at the end of this 39-lap shootout, you could call it, he's got to get a move on it. As here you see Lorello getting caught up by another car.
Yeah, this is the battle right now for the 10th position between James Lorello, Lupe Gonzalez. Lorello on the high side is just going to give up that position, so move Gonzalez up yet another position, and that number 13 machine is going to be looking in his rear view mirror here pretty darn quickly, because Nick Cohan and the Dizzy Motorsports number 21 machine is closing in on him, as well as the 117 of Chad Cole. Both of those cars only coming down pit road not all too long ago. They were both... Yep, go ahead.
And as you can see, these newer tires, if they did take them, I mean, they just blew by Lorello with ease. I mean, 1 on the inside, 1 on the outside, forcing Lorello in the middle. I mean, these guys, they're making people look like they're stopped passing.
So 63 laps in the books this time by. Will be 37 laps to go when we hit the stripe, or when your leader hits the stripe, Bill Edwards. That battle for the race lead is closing in, however, because Edwards in the S2R machine, 4.2 seconds over the next place machine. And if you will see by the graphic there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it has been closing. That's over the last 4 laps. It has been cut in half by Anthony DeBarro. Edwards up at the front right now, but for how much longer by that tracker, we'll probably be looking at a battle for the race lead in about 5 or 6 laps between the 27 and the number 50. DeBarro led a significant amount of the race last week here on 3 Wide TV at a very different racetrack, Nashville Fairgrounds, and here we're trying to go back-to-back. But Timothy Johnston hot on his heels right back there in the number 28 machine. In fact, there is your second and third place cars as they run right now. Just got around one of the lap machines. Couldn't quite tell who that was behind them. That is the number 60 machine of Don Runkle Jr. Got Mission 22 on the hood of that Ford Mustang, currently being scored in the 22nd position. And by my math, the first car 1 lap down. So we have a significant number of cars on the lead lap. Bad news is, if you're James Lorello, you are just bleeding time right now. And Lorello is being scored all the way down in 15th spot.
Yeah, and you see him coming down the backstretch, tank slapping left, right. I mean, his tires are hurting, Peter, and I wouldn't be surprised here. I'd say in the next 10 laps, you see James come in for 4 fresh Goodyear tires and make a push for this checkered flag here.
Currently, your highest placed chase driver beyond Bill Edwards is the number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman. I'm surprised with all that front end damage that Himmelman's been able to stay so pacey in that SimShots number 6 Ford Mustang. Definitely a testament to that driver and his new sim rig that he picked up this week. He's 7.7 seconds behind your race leader. He's got his stepdad, Ben Adams, right behind him. Adams looking to the high line through 1 and 2. Also got sim shots on the side of that machine, as well as butt kicker on the hood. And now we got a battle for the 4th position between the number 9 and the number 6 as they go off into turn number 3. And looks like the 9 of Adams will take it away from Himmelman. So slide Himmelman back to 5th. Right back behind him is the number 6 machine of Jason Gracias. And we'll bring up this delta between Gracias and Himmelman. You can see that delta is really closing in there. Doze looks like Gracias might take this away from Himmelman here in just a minute.
Yes, and to correct you, Peter, Gracias is in the number 1 car. But as you stated earlier, last week, Gracias didn't have a good race per se. Right now, with 32 laps to go, he's charging his way up to the front. So he's trying to rebound from last week, and we'll see here in the next lap or so if he can make the move on Himmelman. And we got Ben Adams sliding down the backstretch as Jason Gracias does complete the pass on the outside of Andrew Himmelman. Gracias now setting his eyes on the number 9 of Ben Adams. Ben Adams is not a playoff driver, but Gracias is, and it looks like Gracias is going to look to the inside going into turn 1 here. He will complete the pass for the 3rd place position.
Yeah, so Gracias gets past that number 9 machine, and he's now up to the 3rd position because we just missed it. The number 50 machine has come down pit road. James Lorello on pit road right now as well. There is Edwards. We'll bring up the pit road times there at the bottom of the screen. Edwards with a long pit stop, 15.4 second stop. You see Andrew Himmelman, 15.8 second stop. Long stop for him as well. Gabo, 14.9. Ben Izenga, 16.6 second time. So some very lengthy pit stops right now. Mike Tellier had a good one, 15.2. We'll see what some of these cars do on pit road, but the 50 of Edwards came on pit road, and he's not in the window here. We don't think he can make it on fuel. At least I don't think he can make it on fuel here with just under 30 laps to go. I'd be surprised, Doze.
Yeah, and, here he goes looking to the middle. Wow, those fresh tires. I mean, just to be confident in your other drivers as well, just to put it right in the middle of 2 cars and just keep the pedal to the floor.
So now we're looking at the number 27 machine of Anthony DeBarro back out front here. We think he can go probably about 5 more laps or so to be good and definitely be inside of the pit window where he will be able to make it all the way. But we have so many cars coming down pit road. Lengthy stop for James Lorello. Has Lorello picked up a speeding penalty of some sort? There he is in his pit box, and this could be terrible news for your points leader coming into tonight.
Yeah, too fast entry. I wouldn't be able to tell unless we saw the replay there, Peter. But yeah, now he's going to be hoping for a caution. I would think to maybe get a lap back and see what he could do in these closing laps.
We'll see if we can see what happened to the number 13 machine. Comes into his pit box here. Everything's okay. Oh, he overshot his pit stall a little bit. You see right side tires going on. And some connection issues there. And seems like everything's okay. Gets left side tires. And then starts moving up there, out back onto the racetrack. And then just goes into the grass. And that has to be some type of hardware failure, I would think. I mean, that car just went into the grass. He was able to bring it to a stop. But that is really, really strange that would happen to your points leader. He had some troubles at the beginning of the night, as you see the car that was the race leader. As we went to that replay, Anthony Tabarro on pit road. But, man, that is not good for your points leader.
No, so now, thankfully he had a little cushion on his lead, but I expect that to be shrunken or if not vanished and have a new points leader heading into round 3 tonight.
So how the cookie crumbles here at the 1.5 mile racetrack known as Hotlanta. It's Hotlanta for a reason because A, the racetrack tends to be really, really slick out here, but the speeds are high and the intensity is red hot. Look at the number 28 machine, huge wiggle. That is impressive driving for the driver of the USAA 28 machine. He knows he has to get every little bit that he can getting to pit road here if he can try and usurp the number 27 machine of DeBarro, who has already made his final pit stop. There is DeBarro out there on the racetrack, working his way coming out of turn number 2. But wow, that entry by that number 28, I don't think he could have left it any later.
No, and it looked like he was a little late getting on the brakes. We might have to keep an eye on that. Did he get it slowed down to, I believe it's 55 pit road speed here? So hopefully he didn't pick up a speeding penalty.
So that almost cycles us through. We still have a couple of cars out there. There's the number 1 of Jason Gracias, who is one of those cars. Ooh, we got a car around. Who was that? Was that... It was the 16 machine of Don Runkle Jr. Let's see if we can see what happened to the number 16 machine. I assume just trying to get up to speed here. And on the flat side of the racetrack just loses the back end. And unfortunately, Don is going to have to take a tow back to pit road. But we stay green flag as that was off the racing surface. Jason Grassi is continuing to lead. Chad Cole, the 117, right back behind him in the Z-Line's design Toyota Supra. This is actually, right now, the battle for the race lead here, Doze. That number 1 machine has it. The 117 wants it as we close in on the 20 to go signal.
Yeah, and you have a lap car in the 84 of Matt Monticelli right in front of them. It'll be interesting to see, if both cars will, lose time trying to get around this lap car. You see that happen quite often in NASCAR or any type of motor racing.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Gracias, number 1 machine, leads down the backstretch. There goes the number 9 machine, Ben Adams. He's on fresh tires, and he will get himself back on the lead lap. Next car to get back on the lead lap will be the number 17 machine of Ben Izenga. But Gracias here really hoping for a caution flag, Doze, because if a caution flag comes out, he'll be able to come down pit road, get fresh tires, and basically be faster than every other driver on the racetrack. It's just a matter of how long will that number 1 machine wait to come down pit road. There was a puff of smoke, might have been this number 84 machine, Spencer Tart, in front of him. Might have had a little bit of a moment Spencer Tart appears to be off the pace here and into the outside wall again.
Yeah, did maybe he blow his engine was the cause of smoke, or was it just a connection issue? I guess we will see here.
Now here we go on a 3-wide TV replay. And ooh, that's a big slide out the back of that number 78 machine. Great save by Spencer Tart, but then he unfortunately got into the outside wall in turn number 3 and 4. There he is tonight, not going to plan for driver number 78 machine. There goes his teammate, the number 17 of Ben Izenga, going around him. Izenga has that right side damage that he accrued earlier on in the race. He's trying to get back on the lead lap. As we have a side-by-side battle for the race lead, Chad Cole, the 117 car on the inside of Jason Gracias. He wants it here, Doze, and looks like he's going to get it.
Yeah, Gracias, held him off for a few laps here as Izinga looks to make it 3 wide here and get his lap back. But now we have Gracias battling back on the high line. I'm seeing if he's going to drop down and cover up that 117 as Izinga looks to the outside to try and get his lap back again.
Yeah, great job by Jason Gracias to kind of hold on to that as Ben Izenga whips around the high line. But that's going to open the door for Chad Cole now to use that preferred higher groove through turn number 1 and 2. He didn't use it. I was expecting him to be right up against the wall like we've seen out of Gracias, but Chad Cole there kind of running a middle groove, maybe getting a little bit of aero wash off the back of the number 1 machine. And folks, if you're not familiar with that term, aero wash is basically a reduction in air on the nose of the car. It's called dirty air, and when you have a reduction of air on the nose of your car, well, it means you have what we call the draft. Drafting on the straightaways is a good thing. Drafting in the corners is a bad thing unless you're at the super speedways, because you can lose some downforce on your car, lose some grip, but the 17 machine uses that low line, gets clean air on the nose because he wasn't tucked up behind the number 1 of Gracias, getting that aero wash, the dirty air, if you will. And just like that, Chad Cole up to the front, and here comes Gracias coming down for his final pit stop tonight.
Yeah, 15 to go. I believe he has 1 set of tires left. I would likely see him take them and make a push now. I mean, 15 to go. There's no playing it safe now. Everybody's trying to get these final points and go for that checkered flag.
Yeah, you see the second place, number 21 machine, Nick Cohan there, that bright orange thing. But now we have to wait for Gale Brooks. Here comes Gale Brooks, the number 76 machine. But then you got some cars back there who are on, that strategy, like Anthony DeBarro, who've already made what will be their final pit stop. There is DeBarro right now. In fact, just past the number 50 S2R machine of Bill Edwards. We are unsure whether or not Bill can make it to the end of the race here, just due to the fact that he pitted quite a few laps ago. And we'll see if we can kind of bring that up at the top of the screen. That's the number of laps since they pit, as Shane Ewing in the 32 machine has a little bit of a moment with the outside wall in turn number 2.
Yeah, and as we were focusing on Bill, I did see James Lorello, number 13 car, out and about on the track, so any hardware malfunction looks like he has solved and is out there turning laps again.
Up at the front of the field, Chad Cole. He last pitted quite a few laps ago. Looks like he pitted on lap number 54, so folks, you do the math. That is 30 plus laps for that 117 machine. In fact, 34 laps. So based off that math, definitely Bill Edwards should be good to make it to the end of the race from this moment on forward. But there's no way that Chad Cole can make it to the end of the race. That is for sure. Shane Ewing, the 32 machine, coming down pit road. He was on a similar strategy to Chad Cole, so he's coming down this lap. We also just saw a pit stop out of some of the other drivers. Nick Cohan just on and off pit road, so he has fresh air. Here comes Chad Cole coming down pit road with 12 laps to go. Great job again getting that 117 machine. We've seen some great pit road entries here tonight, Doze.
Yes, I mean, races are won and lost on pit road, and tonight, I mean, these guys have just been hitting the nail on the head each and every stop. I mean, green flags, and this is the money stop. I mean, this stop right here is where races are won and lost, and these guys just keep plugging them away like it's nothing. So kudos to all these guys out here driving tonight.
And I'll tell you what, that man right there, the number 28, Tim Johnston, fastest money stop of the night. He was able to get out in front of Anthony DeBarro. Like I said, Doze, he got on pit road just fantastically, just unbelievably well. And that 28 USAA Toyota Supra out front now, 0.6 of a second back to Anthony DeBarro. And also, this is the kicker here, folks, 2 laps fresher tires for Tim Johnston. That is going to be a momentous advantage here in the closing 10 laps. Make that 9 this time by just under 15 miles to go here at Atlanta.
Peter, and I believe last year in the ARCA Thornton Graphix Cup, we had 5 different winners in the chase, and I believe not one of them were chase drivers. Last week, round 1, we had a new winner, not a chase driver. Are we on the same path this season as well?
That might be the case. Tim Johnston, Dizzy Motorsports machine, trying to make it 2 in a row for Dizzy Motorsports since they came here to TNR. DeBarro there running second. Bill Edwards running in third. He's had a great night, has Bill Edwards. He, we talked about the splitting of the strategies between the S2R machines with Lorello pitting early and Bill Edwards kind of also on a somewhat early pit strategy. Edwards has really played his cards well tonight. Yes, he qualified up there near the front of the field. He is in third. He qualified fourth, but it's been a good night for Bill here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. 2.4 seconds off the race lead, and I was a bit surprised because Edwards didn't have the best restart when we had the one and only restart here tonight. Was kind of shuffled back a little bit, but he's really been able to get everything back going in the right direction. This is going to be a great points night for that number 50 machine.
Yes, and Peter, you and I have both raced a lot with Bill and, a lot of these drivers as well, as we see one car come sliding across the infield grass. Bill, he's a great driver. He's always up near the front of the field. Sometimes he may get a little overshadowed by his S2R teammate of James, who's always, up near the front. But Bill, he's a great driver, so hats off to you, Bill.
And that was the number 9 machine of Ben Adams, who had a moment there on the front stretch. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, you're not missing anything as Tim Johnston has pulled away even more from Anthony DeBarro. There is that number 28 machine, 27 back behind him. There's the number 13 of James Morello, was leading the race earlier. His strategy not paying off here tonight and having some issues with possibly some hardware. He's going to finish way down the running order here tonight. Your points leader coming into tonight, definitely going to have to rebound next week here in the TNR Thornton Graphix Grand National Series season. Just checking. Next week, gonna be a fun one. We go up to upstate New York. Watkins Glen International Speedway next week, Doze. I'm looking forward to the only road course race here in the Chase.
Yeah, what a great first 3 rounds. You have a short track at Nashville, you have a 1.5 miles here at Atlanta, then you head up to New York for a road course. I mean, you got to be diverse in this league. I mean, right there just widens the whole field up for everybody.
We got this battle here with just 4 laps to go between the 20 and the number 6. Jason Freeman, Andrew Himmel, and a couple of chase drivers battling it out here for a top 5 here tonight. 15.5 seconds, though, behind your race lead, but I'm sure they won't be all too concerned with that. They're more concerned with the fact that they're trying to pick up as many points as they can here as we're coming to just 3 laps to go at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 20, Mason-Dixon Cornhole Chevrolet up at the front. Himmelman, well, at least up in front of Himmelman, I should say. But these two locked in this battle, and this is an important one. A couple of those chase drivers, like I mentioned here, Doze, I'm sure Himmelman wants that spot. Just going to look at when they last pitted these two drivers. They both pitted about the same time. Himmelman 1 lap fresher tires on that SimShots Ford, so he might have a little bit of an advantage there, but running out of time here, just 2 laps to go.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe Drew could catch his draft on the backstretch and make a late race pass. But I was looking at the timing screen on the left. There is 5 Chase playoff drivers inside the top 10. So they will get a good point tonight, as James Lorello has fallen, outside of the top 10. So I would look for that Chase lead to shrink by the end of this evening.
And there's the white flag. Tim Johnston had the money stop here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Just 1 more lap, 1.5 miles around this racetrack. Works his way through turn number 1 and 2 onto the backstretch for the final time. You can just see that Johnston trying to keep his distance to the number 21 of Nick Cohan, one of his teammates out in front of him. Currently running in 13th. Last car on the lead lap is Nick Cohan. Oh no! Oh, wow, you don't want to have connection issues coming out of the final corner. But Johnston here, Tim Johnston, getting to go to victory lane coming out of turn number 4. Man, that would have been crazy, Doze, had he had connection issues there on the final lap, the final corner, almost giving it away to his teammate Anthony DeBarro, but luckily able to pop back on in time to see the checkered flag going to victory lane in only his 2nd career TNR start.
My heart was even racing for him. I was hoping he'd get his connection back just in time. And, congratulations, Tim, Anthony, and Bill on your 1, 2, and 3rd place finishes tonight.
Let's see if we can go back and figure out what this battle between the number 6 machine and the number 20 looked like. Looks like Freeman was well able to hold on to that spot. Back behind him, though, there is the number 71, Josh Gerlach. He finished in 7th. There's Chris Cabot and the number 9 machine of Adams rounding out your top 9. But that number 28 machine here on the front stretch, burning it down for the fans here tonight. The USAA Toyota Supra going to victory lane here in the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series here on 3 Wide TV, Doze.
Yeah, great race. I mean, we talked about the money stop, and your graphic said fastest money stop pays off. Now he's celebrating in victory lane.
That is definitely the case. We're going to have to see if we can dial up the top 3 finishers here tonight. Bill Edwards is going to get an interview. That's right. Driver of the number 15 machine. He will be right here on 3 Wide TV in just a moment. We're also going to get a word with Anthony DeBarro, our runner-up here tonight. His 2nd time here in the series with another stellar run. And we're also going to see if we can get a word with tonight's race winner, who's continuing to do burnouts there on the racetrack. Looks like he finally toasted the motor. Let's see if we can bring up the 3rd place finisher here tonight. Driver of the number 50 machine, Bill Edwards. Bill Edwards, Peter Short, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, definitely a, all right night for you in that number 50 machine. I was a little bit concerned about your pit strategy there, but everything all worked out for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about my pit strategy, too. I pit, I think I pit about a lap too early on the first one, which kind of, I had to do some saving, so... My initial plan was to pit early, get new tires, try to gap, and just split the tires evenly because the tires fall off. It was just crazy tonight. So, but I was a little short. I had to do a little fuel saving on that 2nd run in order to make sure I made it, which kind of set me back pretty much to where I was at.
All in all, a great night for you. You qualified up there near the front of the field. How important was that good qualifying run here tonight?
I think it's a big deal because trying to get through traffic, you burn a little bit more tires off, and with the temps as high as they were today, and the fall off being as great as it was, anything you can do to run a smooth line, I think was gonna be a big thing this race.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like a lot of fun out there. Drivers, using the high line, drivers running the middle line, drivers running right up there, on the white line, basically all over the racetrack. We saw drivers here tonight. What was your thought about the racetrack here tonight?
It was definitely multi-groove. I was actually trying to run some different areas, see where the tire fall off was the worst. The tires just fell off so much no matter where you ran, it seemed like. It's one of the more fun tracks when you can have multi-groove racing like that. The Tim Johnson there definitely had, and same with Anthony, both had the right call with their pit strategy, and that put them right out in front for, like, they were quicker than me for like 2-3 laps, and then we were even, and that was the winning move, I think.
Well, definitely nothing to be too ashamed about. It seems like those Dizzy Motorsports machines are lightning fast here, and you've come home a couple seconds off the race lead, but all things considered, fantastic race for you here tonight, Bill. But we go to the road course next week at Watkins Glen. What are your thoughts about twisting left and right?
Well, Watkins Glen isn't my favorite road course, but I like road courses overall, so I think hopefully we'll have a good one. And road courses in these Grand National cars are an absolute blast. We had one earlier in the year there up in, I can't remember the name of the track, but it was a Canadian track. I remember that. But it was a blast, so I think Watkins Glen will probably have the same type of exciting racing. So tune in.
Yeah, all things considered, a great finish for you here tonight. Also, great points night in the chase side of things as well. I know things didn't go quite to plan for your teammate there, the number 13 of James Sorella. You'll pick up quite a few points on him, and perhaps the point standings will be a bit more wide open going into the Glen next week. Before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Yep, got to give a shout-out to you guys up in the booth. TNR, Thornton Graphix. Got to say hi to my mom. She watches every week. S2R. I know James had a bit of a technical difficulty, which kind of set him back. Otherwise, I think he would have been up here as well. But that's about it. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for our second place finisher, driver of the number 50 machine, Bill Edwards. Good luck at the Glen.
Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
All right, well, that's going to do it. And let's see if Mr. Steven Doziak can catch up with our second place finisher, Anthony DeBarro. Doze.
Anthony, Steve Doziak in the 3Y TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing, congratulations on your second place finish and your teammate, first and second. The Dizzy Motorsports off to a great start in this Thornton Graphix chase playoff here. Tell us about your evening tonight.
It pretty uneventful. I got the fence pretty good once in the 3, and the car wasn't the same after that. But Tim was doing a fantastic job. I want to congratulate him on the win. He ran the bottom really good. Like, I think the best of anyone out there, and we had a fun run. I mean, I had the track position, and he was able to slip me there in traffic at the end. I couldn't. My tires were gone there, so I couldn't get back to him or even try to. But overall, a great team day. I mean, we stayed out of trouble. We stayed up front the whole night, and I'm excited. I mean, we're bringing a lot of speed into here, and I'm trying. Main thing is focus, is stay away from the chase guys, and I don't want to ruin their battle for the championship. Be respectful as possible, and just run our own race and see where we end up.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are certainly making an impact. Last week a win, this week a win for the team. You guys are out front most of the evening. I know with the green flag pit stops. This league is big on green flag racing. How was it dealing with the 2 or 3 green flag pit stops tonight here at Atlanta with the multi-groove racing?
It was all right. I wish that the setup was really, really tight. I mean, it's just a product of most fixed setups. And the hardest part about here with green flag racing is remembering to be easy getting on pit road, because you could get in trouble. I'm sure you guys saw. I didn't watch the replay or anything yet, but I'm sure plenty of guys got in trouble on pit road entry with hitting the cone and spinning out. So I was very surprised we went green the whole way, and it was definitely a fun time. I'm glad you could actually run any lane on this track now. It just makes it, you have so many options, and if you need to pick a different lane to get around traffic or try to make up some time, it's really fun.
Yeah, and next week we go to New York, the Glen, the road course. We had Nashville last week, Atlanta this week. What do you like about the Glen, and what are your chances or the team's chances?
We'll see if we could keep all 4 on the blacktop. I think we'll have a good chance, but anything can happen there, and you got to be consistent and hit your marks and work out. A lot of strategy gets involved in these road courses, so we'll see what happens where we end up. Tim's going to be very strong next week, so we'll see if we can make it hard for him.
Before we let you go and talk to Tim, any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to give out here?
I want to shout out to all the guys at Dizzy's, Shane, Josh, Nick, and Cool Nick. They're fun to be with each week, and like I said, Tim with the win. I mean, he's quick every week, and he's going to be there every week in this series, and he's a very respectful guy. So I'll congratulate him to the win again, and obviously you guys in the booth. Thank you for what you do each week. I look forward to reviewing it. Last week I watched the whole entire thing after the race, and I enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate your thanks, and best of luck next week to you and your team at the Glen.
Thank you.
All right, well, folks, that's going to do it for our second place interview here tonight with our runner-up, Anthony DeBarra, but it's time to go down to Victory Lane and see if we can dial up Tim Johnston. Tim, Peter Short, 3Y TV booth, you got a copy?
10-4 do.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Last week was an interesting race for you because you had a fast race car. Things didn't quite go to plan. It looked like you might have had a shot at the win, but Anthony got the best of you last week. This week, fantastic final pit stop. I mean, one of the best entries I've seen here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in a long time. You dialed in the money stop. That's what you had to do. You got out front there. You had the fresher tires, and you pulled away late. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we had a good car all night. I was expecting to qualify anywhere from 5th to 10th. I wasn't really too worried about that. I felt like as the race went on, the track and the car would come to us with how hot it was and how tight the setup was going to be. So we had a really good run, sat there and ran with Ant, and just really nailed that last pit stop. And that couple lap fresher tires, I think, really made the difference there in the last 5 to 10 laps or so.
Yeah, it definitely was really awesome to kind of see a little bit of a chess match between you and your teammate. It seemed like under the kind of that first stint on your tires, the first 40 or so laps there, of course, it was broken up by a caution there in the first portion of the race, but it seemed like maybe you had done a little bit better job of saving your tires, even considering the fact that you started back in 6th and you were able to slice your way up to 2nd. Tell us about the tire management here tonight.
Well, really, entering the corner, I just was kind of lifting early and letting it roll for a while, kind of rolling in the throttle and then getting out and letting it roll a little bit longer and getting in late. I really think that helped save a lot of the tire, even with the guys that were a little bit faster running high. Me being able to do that would just kind of make them run side by side to where they wouldn't get away from me, and eventually would kind of work my way back in front of them.
Well, you definitely did a fantastic job of it, and getting on pit road right there at the end. Really, really impressive job here in your first 2 starts. But next week, we go to upstate New York. We go to Watkins Glen. What are your thoughts about turning left and right?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I enjoy road course racing. I run a lot of the endurance events, so really looking forward to going to Watkins Glen and see if we can get a good solid top 5, top 3 out of there too.
Definitely one of my favorite racetracks. I'm a road course ringer myself. I am very much looking forward to what that's going to bring here, the final road course of the season. Definitely going to be a fun one. We're looking forward to seeing you possibly up on the podium once again. But before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsor, USAA. I've been on my car for years. Amsoil, CJ Automotive, Dizzy Engines, Hot Wheels, Advocare McGuire's, Hawkinsfeld Pedals, all my teammates at Dizzy Motorsports. We really support each other, and it's really a great team to be a part of. Everybody at TNR for the awesome show they put on every week, and you guys for the awesome broadcast.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for stopping by here in the 3-Wide TV booth. Tim, best of luck next week at the Glen.
Thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing you there.
All right, well, that's going to do it here tonight with your race winner, driver of the number 28 machine, Tim Johnson, picking up the win, his first career Total Nonstop Racing League win as well. Doze, it's about time for us to do the last thing here on 3-Wide TV here tonight. That is go through the final race results. So let's see if we can bring those up right here on the screen for you guys. Tim Johnson taking home the win. Anthony DeBarro, last week's race winner, finishing there in second. Bill Edwards coming home in third, not all too far behind the driver of the number 27. He finishes about 4 seconds off the race lead, however. Jason Gracias, your reigning series champion. We talked about him needing a little bit of a bounce back tonight after finishing 18th last week. He's going to get a top 5 there in 4th. And that battle for the 5th position did go to Jason Freeman at the end of the night, just about half a second in front of the Sim Shots Racing number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman. Josh Gerlach, Chris Gabot in 7th and 8th. Those two drivers were locked in a battle for a good majority of tonight's race. Ben Adams and Ben Isenga rounding out the top 10 there, Doze.
Yeah, Chad Cole, 11th, Shane Ewing, Nick Cohan, Nick, CM Brown, Tristan Maher after that first lap incident, top 15, good job. Lupe Gonzalez, 16th, Vinny Valvano, Gail Brooks, 18th. Garrett Gleason, top 20. Matt Monticelli in 20th place.
Mike Floppy Tellier, Spencer Tart, 21st and 22nd. Tellier, his night went wrong very quickly there in that one and only restart we had around lap number 20. In fact, the only caution flag we saw here tonight was on lap number 15. And Tellier didn't come down pit road under that caution, and that kind of put him behind the 8 ball, and that's a tough break for one of our chase drivers finishing well down the order. Spencer Tart finishing 22nd, 23rd was Don Runkle Jr. James Arello had some issues on the number 13 machine. He finishes 5 laps down. He was your points leader coming into tonight, so going to be fun to see what the point standings looks like after this one. Behind him, Bob Giaquinto in the number 23 machine. Definitely not having the night he was looking for in the Shibby Shack number 23 machine. But great to have Bob back out there on the racetrack. And I think he's going to be moving over into the race car next season. Jason Shue, 26th. Stephen Kegman, 27th. Another one of the chase drivers having a rough night here tonight. Johnny Williams, 28th. Ricky Williams, 29th. Kyle Lewis, the 30th and last place driver to see the racetrack here tonight. Those you were alongside me, that's why you're being credited 31st. And Brian Rubel was the out-of-race administrator here tonight, calling all the administrative calls, but kind of easy night for those types of calls, Those because we only had one caution here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. A long-haul race, lots of green flag racing. Definitely a lot of fun to broadcast up here in the booth.
It was a blast, Peter. I really appreciate the opportunity to come up here when Bob wants to race. Good job, Bob. Green flag racing, green flag pit stops, what everybody wants to see at a race. Big shout out to all those guys, on the track tonight, all 30 of them. They kept it clean. It was a great overall night, and I look forward to getting back on track maybe next week at Watkins Glen. If not, definitely at Darlington for throwback night.
Definitely going to be a lot of fun here on the channel. Folks, we really appreciate you tuning in here tonight. Big shout out to Thornton Graphix for being the series sponsor. Dunn Raceway Park in Old Forge, Pennsylvania as well. Make sure you check them out. Indoor off-road racing. There's a link in the description. As well as Master Millwright for sponsoring the Total Nonstop Racing Big Block League that is here on Tuesday nights. If you're interested in getting your feet dirty with a little bit of dirt racing, well, make sure you check out the Total Nonstop Racing League's Big Block Series. Fantastic series, getting big car counts, and always having a lot of fun. Big shout out to our friends over at Sim TV as well for the camera angles that we bring you here on 3-Wide TV, the only other broadcaster who can use these Sim TV packages. We really do appreciate all the work that goes into the camera angles that we have each and every week here on the channel. Any final thoughts here tonight, Dose?
Overall, this race was amazing. One caution, that's all we had planned for, and it came through for us. Great to see, this league continue to grow as a member of the race. You've been there from the start, the revamp. it's incredible what Garrett Gleason and these guys have done. So, I look forward to finishing up the year, hopefully on track, if not in the booth here, and being back out there with the guys and, listening to you and Bob up in the booth.
Absolutely. Definitely a lot of fun here, folks. Big shout out to all of you joining us here on the channel. As always, make sure you leave a like on your way out. But folks, until we see you again, same time, same place next week. Getting ahead of myself here. Right here on 3Wide TV at Watkins Glen International. We'll be twisting left and right for the final time. Beautiful upstate New York. I cut myself short, folks. I muted myself. That is bad producing. Bad, Peter. Make sure you leave a like on the way out, because if you think that was a bad thing, make sure you leave a like on the way out. And we'll see you guys next week. See ya!